The energy inside Rogers Center was absolutely electric as Addison Barger stepped up to the plate in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Blue Jays had been fighting to stay alive in Game 6 of the ALCS, and the tension was heavy in the air. Fans were on their feet, waving towels, shouting, and hoping for a miracle to turn the tide. The scoreboard read 3-2, with the Blue Jays trailing by just 1 run. The opposing pitcher, a veteran known for his calm under pressure, looked locked in. But what happened next would completely change the course of this game, and maybe the entire series. As the count reached 2-1, Barger took a deep breath, his bat resting lightly on his shoulder. The next pitch came in, a hanging slider that didn't quite break enough. Barger's eyes lit up. With one powerful swing, he connected, sending the ball soaring high toward right field. The crowd erupted instantly. Every fan in the stadium could tell from the sound alone that this ball was gone. The camera followed it as it sailed deep into the night sky before disappearing into a sea of blue jerseys and waving hands. The ball landed in the second deck, and Rogers Center exploded. Fans screamed, players poured out of the dugout, and Addison Barger pumped his fists with unfiltered emotion as he rounded first base. It wasn't just a home run, it was a statement. That 2-run blast gave the Blue Jays a 4-3 lead, and suddenly, the impossible felt possible. It was Barger's moment, a young player who had fought for every opportunity finally delivering on the biggest stage of his life. This wasn't just another hit, this was the type of swing that fans remember for decades. It reminded everyone of the classic Toronto playoff moments, Joe Carter in 1993, Jose Bautista's bat flip in 2015, and now, Addison Barger's clutch Game 6 homer in 2025. Barger's journey to this point has been nothing short of inspiring. Drafted as a raw talent with big power but inconsistent results, he had to grind his way through the minors. Many doubted whether his aggressive swing would translate to the majors. But he worked tirelessly, refining his mechanics, improving his plate discipline, and learning from the veterans around him. Every batting cage session, every late-night workout, every failure built the foundation for this moment. In the dugout, his teammates couldn't contain their excitement. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was the first to greet him, giving him a bear hug that practically lifted Barger off the ground. Bo Bichette was pounding the railing, shouting, "That's what I'm talking about." The crowd fed off that energy, creating a roar that felt like an earthquake. Even the broadcast team was in disbelief. The play-by-play announcer's voice cracked with emotion. Addison Barger has changed everything. The Blue Jays are alive in Game 6. Replays showed his perfect timing, his follow-through, and the sheer power that launched the ball into the upper deck. Analysts immediately began discussing how this might go down as one of the biggest swings in Blue Jays postseason history. For Barger, this wasn't just about personal glory, it was about redemption. Earlier in the series, he'd struggled at the plate, striking out multiple times in key moments. But he never let frustration get the best of him. He kept his focus, trusting that his moment would come. When it finally did, he made it count in the most spectacular way possible. As he sat down after the inning ended, cameras caught him smiling quietly, exhaling deeply. It was the look of a man who knew he had done something special. The crowd chanted his name over and over, "Barger, Barger, Barger." It was pure magic, the kind of playoff moment that bonds a city to its hero forever. The next inning brought even more drama. The Blue Jays' bullpen had to protect the narrow 4-3 lead, and every pitch felt like a heart-stopping event. Fans bit their nails, waved rally towels, and held their breath as the opposing team tried to fight back. But Toronto's relievers, fueled by Barger's home run, pitched with fire in their eyes. By the time the 9th inning arrived, the stadium was trembling with anticipation. The closer took the mound, the fans chanting in unison. 3 outs stood between the Blue Jays and a Game 7. The first out came on a pop fly, the second on a blistering strikeout. When the final batter grounded out to shortstop, the crowd exploded once again. Toronto had done it, they forced Game 7, and Addison Barger was the hero of the night. Reporters swarmed him after the game. He spoke humbly, giving credit to his teammates, coaches, and fans. "I just tried to stay in the moment," he said, his voice calm despite the chaos around him. "This team never gives up. I just wanted to do my part." His words reflected a maturity beyond his years, the mindset of a player who truly understood what it meant to play for something bigger than himself. In the clubhouse, champagne stayed on ice. There was still one more game to play, but the mood was electric. Music blasted, players laughed and shouted, and the energy was contagious. Even the team's veterans admitted they hadn't seen a moment quite like this one. "That kid's got ice in his veins," said one player with a grin. Fans took to social media instantly. Clips of the home run went viral, spreading across every platform within minutes. "Barger bomb" became the top trending phrase in Canada and the US. Baseball fans from around the world chimed in, praising his composure and raw power. Analysts compared his performance to some of the all-time great playoff moments, calling it the swing that saved the Blue Jays' season. Even rival players and coaches acknowledged it. "That was a big-time swing," said the opposing manager after the game. "You can't make a mistake to a guy like that in a big spot. He punished it." Respect from opponents only added to the weight of what Barger had accomplished. Behind the scenes, coaches revealed how much preparation went into that at-bat. They'd studied the opposing pitcher's tendencies for days, noticing that his slider often flattened out late in games. Barger had been told to look for that exact pitch. When it came, he didn't miss. It was a perfect blend of preparation and execution, a moment where hard work met destiny. For the Blue Jays organization, this homer represented more than just one victory. It symbolized hope for a new generation. Barger, along with Guerrero Jr. and Bichette, formed a young core capable of bringing Toronto back to championship glory. Fans left the stadium buzzing, their voices hoarse but their spirits soaring. Outside the arena, car horns blared, people danced in the streets, and chants echoed through downtown Toronto. It was a night that felt alive, a reminder of why baseball is more than just a game. Meanwhile, media outlets around the world replayed the footage again and again, breaking down every angle, every camera shot, every reaction. The shot of Barger rounding the bases with pure joy became an instant classic. Sports writers called it the birth of a new Blue Jays legend. Others compared Barger's calm demeanor to some of the greatest clutch hitters in history. It was clear that something special was happening in Toronto, and Addison Barger was at the center of it. As dawn approached and the city slowly quieted, the conversation continued. Everyone wanted to talk about that home run, how it felt, where they were when it happened, and what it meant. Some said it was destiny. Others said it was pure hard work. Either way, it was unforgettable. The next morning, Barger woke up to thousands of messages and mentions on social media. His family sent videos of fans watching from home, crying and cheering as the ball flew out of the park. For him, it wasn't about fame, it was about gratitude. He'd lived his childhood dream in front of millions, and now he was ready for the next challenge, Game 7. Reporters asked him if he felt pressure heading into the deciding game. He smiled slightly and said, "Pressure is a privilege." That quiet confidence made fans love him even more. He wasn't just a slugger, he was a leader in the making. In the locker room before Game 7, his teammates rallied around him. "You started this," Guerrero Jr. told him. "Now let's finish it." That sense of unity, that shared belief, was exactly what this team needed. As the broadcast replayed his Game 6 homer before the first pitch of Game 7, the stadium crowd rose again in applause. They knew they were witnessing something rare, a player stepping into greatness in real time. Whether the Blue Jays win or lose the series, Addison Barger's blast will live forever in Toronto baseball history. It wasn't just about the numbers on the scoreboard. It was about belief, resilience, and the spark that one swing can ignite in an entire city. Barger showed the world that heroes aren't born, they're made through perseverance, courage, and the willingness to rise when everything's on the line. His two-run homer wasn't just a game-changer, it was a career-defining moment. And for the fans who witnessed it, it was pure magic. That night, as the lights dimmed and the crowd slowly filtered out of Rogers Centre, one feeling remained, a mix of pride and anticipation. Toronto was alive again, and it all started with Addison Barger's unforgettable swing.